Oft do I enjoy sitting here, in thought carefreeness, gazing down south over this awe-inspiring, sunrise to sunset extending valley, with its meandering river flowing through it from west to east. So much there is to be viewing at different times of the day and night, and throughout the seasons. There is no moment when anything, such as the apple trees and the many other different kinds of trees and bushes or the river, is ever the same. A bird will swiftly take to flight up out of a tree. A fox or a pheasant will take to strolling across a field, or along by a grove, or fish will be taking to do a quick dive onto the surface of the waters, or an otter or a cormorant will be coming up for a breather. The horses, sheep, and cattle never do anything in exactly the same way. Sometimes they graze in that part of a field, sometimes in this. A horse or a few horses will all of a sudden, perhaps because of the arrival of a gust of wind, take to galloping from one end of a field to the other, and just as suddenly again, and in mid-stride, will take to running off in a totally different direction. Sheep, too, will at times get a sudden notion of flocking for a few minutes in one part of a field, before then dispersing out and about again to contentedly resume grazing away as the day is long. A herd of cattle will graze here and there in a field, and will, when the time is felt to be just right, all take to sitting themselves down for a while to enjoy chewing the cud. Sometimes deer in twos and threes will appear out of the woods down over there, and with having sufficiently grazed and sauntered about a little, will return back into it as if they had never been out and about at all. And the sky overhead is one and the same, in that there is no grey to blue sky of day or moon to starry heavens of night that ever appears to be the self-same. The pretty village too, off over there to the southwest, with its warm-hearted inhabitants, is also of this changing. And I too am never the same. We are never the same. The me you see here now and is listening to is not the same me that you saw and was listening to a few moments ago, or are you the same you that was here a few moments ago listening to me. Nothing ever remains the same, not even for the briefest duration. Everything is always and everywhere changing, and you and I are of that everything that is always and everywhere changing. And how wondrous and how very fortunate that is. And you should see the valley though when heavy rains and high winds drench it to saturation point. Then, brightly bejeweled with several small lakes and ponds will the river banks be. Oh, so resplendent a sight it is to see, believe you me. There are ideas in my mind where exists many such and the like landscape ideas, as this one here all about. Ideas which anyone at all can well relate to. Ideas common to everyone. Ideas on how to live our day-nightly lives. Ideas on what we believe in or don't believe in. Ideas on different ways of bringing up a family or governing a country. and on how to be taking the very best of care of this our beloved planetary home. In each and every generation, each and every period in history, and in any a culture, there would be a pool of ideas on different things that would be of a common sameness, which would be shared by all. This has always been the case. There are, however, ideas in my mind that I know without the shadow of a doubt they are definitely not of the ideas common to everyone. They belong to no such sameness. How to truth do I know this to be true? True to truth, know it I do. These are so far out of the ordinary, everyday nightly ideas that they almost make it impossible for me to adequately say what kind of ideas they are, other than that in my attempting to describe them, I will use wind as a metaphor for the way in which they move and are about my mind. They move about my mind like a great wind that from out of nowhere seemingly comes, yet out of somewhere out of my mind do they come into presence. They first come into form as the gentlest of breezes, so very gentle and so faint that you would hardly know them to be about at all. Their movement about other ideas is gentility in softness. Sometimes these ideas will feel a slight nudging at this way or at that as they lightly brush on by them. Then, with their mild swilling here and there about, and they being so effortless and for no manifest reason, will they begin to grow in strength, for out of their gentleness and delicateness, other ideas now are very much beginning to feel the force of them swishing about them, and that swishing is itself in turn, for some unknown reason, now too growing in strength and movement. This growing in strength and movement does not ease off or slow down, but keeps augmenting itself from within itself until tree ideas are felled, until whole stretches of forest ideas are leveled and river and lake ideas are all but emptied out from their basins and hollows and splashed all about here and there over the land. And when these great wind ideas reach to seas and oceans of my mind, they push and heap up mountains upon mountains of water that then take to tumbling and rolling in thunderous soundings into heights of deep depths before pounding their ways onto the shores and careering inland for miles and miles until eventually coming to a slushing and a swirling about halt all up against high mountain slopes. These winds, when with them then passing on over these mountain tops, will find themselves being caressed by clouds and slowing down and very soon into smallness, quickly augmenting themselves, and just as gently as they came into noticeability, they will completely calm down and way down, until they are now so faint that the most delicate stem of grass idea will hardly be able to detect their presence. Oh, my mind truly I know to be a wondrous place, its ideas and their ways immensely fascinating.